Yes, we are on session 12 today, and I'm open to questions if you have any.
Yeah, I want to clarify a couple of things. I gotta bring
Yes,
up my notes. So I know you said the about the overthrow. It's not that complicated. I think I agree with you. So I want to get the first one rule out of the way. So you said that overthrow is split into two action, which is two phases, right? One is a phase one, how many runs they complete, and the phase two, what happens after the throw is made. So I think that kind of makes that kind of answers my questions. Is so regardless of how many runs the batsman run after the throw is made, it's
it doesn't
always
matter.
capped. It's always capped at 4 runs if the ball goes to the boundary.
It's only the ceiling is 4 runs.
So even
Uh,
if
let
they
me
let's
let
say
me let
let,
me let me repeat like Shwetab has requested. Let me repeat 19.7.3 and
okay,
19.8. Then you ask me your question. All right. Let
okay,
me just
yeah, yeah,
repeat it. Maybe that will clear your doubt. See here in 19.7 we have when a boundary is scored, mainly it is that it must be struck by the bat and must reach there without bouncing on the ground. And a boundary 4, if the ball first bounces within the boundary, whether struck or not, it is 4 runs. And a ball which is not struck by the bat reaches the boundary of the helmet, the body of the striker or whoever, it is still not, it is only 4 runs, never a 6, which matches with what is given in 19.7.1. Now, coming to 19.7.3, this law governs the ordinary situation which doesn't involve an overthrow. And where here it is clearly stated, except in the circumstances of 19.8. So, 19.8 is when there is an overthrow. So what this law says is when a boundary is scored, the batting side shall be awarded whichever is the greater of the allowance for the boundary or the physical runs if they are greater. If they are greater. So when do we count five? Four and cross for fifth is considered five. Four and cross for five is considered cross for the fifth run is considered full run, full 5 runs. And you know very well that once you have crossed, you never return. You never return unless runs are disallowed. Okay, you never return, even if one of them is called short. Now, what happens is the runs completed by the batters together with the run in progress, if they had already crossed at the instant the boundary is scored, if whichever is the greater of the two, either it will be 4 runs or it will be 5 runs. And moreover, uh, the runs completed and run in progress, if crossed, if they exceed the boundary allowance, they shall replace the boundary allowance for the purpose of law 18.12.2, which means that for the purpose of deciding who is to take strike, for the purpose of deciding who is to stay strike, it will be on the basis of 5 runs because I have allowed 5 runs. Quite naturally, because now that I have crossed for the fifth, this position has to be retained. This position has to be retained. I have given 5 runs and I must retain the 5 run position also. And I must retain the 5 runs position also. So this is what this particular law means. The scoring of penalty runs, of course, by either side is not affected by the scoring of a boundary. So the idea being that if in this phase, if you run more than the boundary allowance, it is allowed. If you run more than the boundary allowance, it is allowed. However, going on to overthrow or willful act of a fielder, if the boundary results from an overthrow or willful act of a fielder, the runs completed together with the run in progress, if it has already been counted at the instant of the throw, what are you going to count? The runs in progress at the instant of the throw. That is where you stop. So if I give an example, they have crossed for one, then we will count one, uh, retain that position, and together with the allowance for the boundary. Here, the aspect of whichever is greater is not there. So 4 runs is the allowance for the boundary. They say because allowances can differ from place to place. It is flexible. So they don't say 4. They say allowance for the boundary. Whatever you may have decided at the time of the toss. So here the ceiling is the boundary allowance. A lot of people don't appreciate this. A lot of people don't appreciate this. Don't see that it is there. That that is why I emphasize that in the case of an overthrow, uh, what runs are to be allowed is very clearly given. Run in progress at the instant of throw or act. Whatever are the runs at the instant of the throw or act, plus the boundary allowance. So, like in Ben Stokes' case, it should have been at the instant of the throw, they were at 1 run, not cross for 2. It was 1 run. And therefore, 1 plus 4 was what should have been given, not 1 plus 6. Because 1 plus 6 was later when the ball came, it was near the wicket keeper here, and Ben Stokes bat touched it and it went away. At the instant of the throw, they had completed only 1 run and had just started for the second run, not cross for the second run. So therefore, at the instant of the throw, it was 1 run, plus 4 is the boundary allowance. Now it will not. Generally, what happens is the here it rushed away to the boundary. There was no chance of anybody taking any further runs. But a lot of times it happens that when the batsmen are running, they will continue batting, and continue running while till the ball is going away. An examiner will frame a question in such a way that by the time the ball reaches the boundary, they have run 3 runs. 1 run was at the overthrow. By the time the ball reaches at the boundary line, they had run 3 runs. Now the 2 runs which they had run in the second phase is absorbed in the boundary allowance. So you have to tell the examiner that you will count 1 plus 4. 1 plus 4. Similarly, to bring you something from the short run rule, where it says that if the ball goes to the boundary, you will, and short runs are also taken. Because it doesn't matter if they have run short or they have not run at all, they will get 4 runs. Even if they don't run, they'll get 4 runs. And even if they run 3 and one of them is short, it doesn't matter. You will ignore short runs because 4 runs will wash away their sins. But in the case of an overthrow, you should not be ignoring the short running because the short running which is in the first phase, they have run 3 and which one of them is at the instant of the throw, they have run 3 and one of them is short, you will have to count 2 plus the boundary allowance. This is what that law says. If you bring both of them together, I hope that is clear. I hope that is clear. All right. Any doubts you still have? Please tell me. Yes.
Nah, no more doubts.
Okay. Okay. Shweta,
Sir,
you're fine
yes,
now.
sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Just
one
remember.
question, sir.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Sir, suppose there were multiple throws,
Yes.
uh, then
In that case, the number of runs taken at the time of the last throw is what counts. Yes, I should have mentioned it. Maybe I skipped mentioning the law says it. In the case of multiple throws, the now at the time of the first throw, it was 1.5 runs. You will count 2 there. All right, you have noted the position. You're a square leg. You have noted the position of the 2 batters at that time. Then the ball goes to a fielder's hand, and he throws the ball again. And at that time, they have actually run 4 runs. So at the second throw, and then the ball goes away to the boundary. By the time the ball reaches the boundary, they have run a total of 6 runs. They have run a total of 6 runs. So it will be 4 runs at the instant of throw of the second instance, which takes the ball to the boundary. That is what will count. 4 plus 4, uh, 8. Those 2 which are run after the final throw are merged in the boundary allowance. They don't count. It was as if the ball had just been struck and has reached the boundary. No. So 4 plus 4 is what will count. So in the case of multiple throw, the position of the runs as well as the batter's wickets, I mean at which end they are, will be retained as per the instant of the second throw. At the instant of the second throw. Fine? Are we okay with this? All right?
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
All right. And anytime you have any further clarification you need, please tell me. I am always here. Now, one of the things that yes, George, you have something to say?
Yeah. Going back to that two videos that you shared, right? About Ishan Kishan's.
Yes,
Ben Stokes was great. It was clear. I mean, ball was not dead because he got rid of the ball right away. Ishan Kishan's first one was fine because the in the test, I think test match, he had a whites, right?
yes.
That was fine. There were no question. But the second one, I thought if I'm a main umpire, I don't consider that as dead. I mean, although you justified that ball really settled in his gloves, but his body language was in such a way that he didn't think the ball was dead. Because I feel that, I mean, wicketkeeper is also another fielder, right? With the special status. So if he doesn't consider that the ball is dead, can the umpire unilaterally consider it's dead? Because he is thinking that a batsman does not have complete control on his body yet. So he even batsman may be thinking, okay, it's dead, but the keeper doesn't think it's dead
No,
for reasonable amount.
Here, George, you are mixing two things. One is ball, umpire considers the ball as dead, where he has to look at the action of the two sides,
Right,
the fielding side and the batting side.
right,
In the case of ball settled in the hands of the wicketkeeper, he has to only see that yes, there is a time lag with the ball in his hands and there is no opportunity for him to take it to a further conclusion. You see that? Don't mix the two.
true,
The
true.
criteria are different. Now here, the ball shall be considered to be dead when it is clear to the bowlers and umpire that the fielding side and both batters at the wicket have ceased to regard it as in play. All right. Now,
Right.
Ishan Kishan was being a little smart, and though there no opportunity existed, he was waiting for the batsman to, in straightening up, maybe he lift his foot or whatever. And but it doesn't count. His intentions don't count. Here, what counts is whether it is finally settled in the hands of the wicketkeeper or the bowler. Now, in your opinion, whether it is finally settled in the hands of the wicketkeeper or bowler, generally the criteria to be applied is that yes, the ball has come to him and there has been a time lag, and during that period, there is no opportunity for him. You cannot wait indefinitely. Again, I am
Yeah.
okay with your thinking that it is marginal. I take that view. You could be free
Right.
not to take that view. I'm quite
If
open to that. There is no problem with that
yeah, if you
because
can
it
bring
was
up that
quite marginal.
video, yeah, if you
Yes,
can bring up that video
I'll
for
I'll
just
I'll bring that. I'll bring that in a second
yeah, because I
because
just feel
it
that
is quite marginal. Now see, that is the delay is a little prolonged in the case of the test match thing, and
right.
where yes, where he's quite and the striker is quite steady on his feet and all that. Even then he hangs around while waiting for him to lift his feet. Here there is no doubt in our mind. Yes,
Right, right. Mm-hmm.
okay. In
Mm-hmm.
the other case, it is possible. Yes, the umpire might consider this. Uh, it is
Now,
a little
decision.
subjective because it is very, very small theory. Now
Now,
look at the
decision to make
batsman.
here
Look at the batsman.
for the TV umpire.
Look at the action of the batsman sideways.
Going upstairs.
He's still inside and in straightening
Thank you,
up
Nigel.
and
Review
see
for
the time
stumping.
lag.
TV umpire to director. We have umpires review for stumping. I've checked the front foot, so clear delivery established. Can we move on to front on, please?
Now the ball is
Appears
there
pretty close to the inside
and
edge
he
of the
may have
bat. Can
intended,
I
but
have
he's
authorized
waiting
just
too
to
long for
confirm
it.
there's no contact between bat and ball?
and then he felt where he has raised his feet, foot, he claimed that wicket. Let us look at it in actual speed.
Now decision.
If you notice, Mr. Singh, that see, even the batter is looking at his gloves.
Now
He
decision
knows
to
that
make
he's
here
trying to get him out.
for the TV umpire.
Yes, yes, no doubt. But that is
Going
regardless.
upstairs.
That is not a
Thank you.
consideration. Does he have an opportunity when the ball comes to him? Does he have an opportunity to, like for this instance here, which is even more pronounced? I'm open to your thinking that all right, you might not consider it dead. I won't dispute it. Okay. Now look at this. I showed you about that incident where Pakistani children were playing. Yeah. Now here
I
the
think.
relay is very great.
Oh no, this is the dead. I mean, that's a dead ball.
Yes, the delay is very long. The
Yeah,
there is no chance
absolutely.
of for him to break the wicket and all that. Now he realizes and he does it. He never even had the intention.
Right.
Here,
True.
in the case of the second Ishan Kishan case, yes, I agree it is marginal. My view is that I would treat it as dead.
Okay.
You might not.
Okay.
Now
You might
decision.
not. I'd not argue with it because it's marginal.
Now decision to make here.
So
For
I
the
wouldn't
TV.
argue the point. If you felt that yes, all right, that is fair, because in a lot of these things, things can be a little subjective. In
Yeah,
a lot of these
I
things,
yeah, I just feel the game has moved on so much with so much, so much of innovation. I think batsmen have to be a little bit more, alert for the fact that, I mean, especially in this case, he saw the keeper, he was trying to get him out, so he should have had control on his body, keep the foot on in the crease for just a little bit longer until they both give up.
perhaps.
Um,
But he didn't leave the crease. He
he,
simply straightened himself up. That's all. He simply
yeah, he
straightened himself
right,
up, and when the ball would have, at that time, the foot might have got up a little. Even then, Ishan, if you see, follow it, he missed the gap. It was a very small gap, he missed it.
yeah,
And
right,
ultimately, it was given not out. But
yeah,
I felt, I frankly felt that now I'll tell you also, if you do decide that what you see is according to you dead ball, I suggest you uh,
call dead ball. Yeah,
call dead ball.
right.
Yes,
No, that's
dead ball.
great point. Yep,
And don't
yep.
let it go to the third umpire at all. Or
Of course.
third umpire, your colleague umpire or the third umpire. So your opinion, you make your opinion clear. According
Yes.
to me, that ball is dead. It's because it is
Ab-
my prerogative to decide that issue.
Yeah,
I hope we
absolutely.
are all. I hope we are all agreed that it is the bowlers and umpire whose opinion counts as far as ball considered dead is there, or the ball settled in the hands of the wicketkeeper or the bowler is. It is my view. And at that time, if I feel that there can be miscarriage of justice, uh, call and signal dead ball, because the law
Yeah.
even allows you that even in a case where the ball becomes dead under so and so, the bowlers and umpire may call and signal dead ball if it is necessary to inform the player. So you do that job of informing the players dead ball. According to me, that ball is dead. It may take a few people by surprise, but then you would be exercising your right properly, and and by doing so, you will prevent any miscarriage. Because here in both these cases, the batsman could have been given out. Batsman could have been given out. And in the third case, he was actually given out. Though it was a clear case of a very clear case of the ball being dead, where he passes on to slip and then the slip fielder waits for him to move and breaks the wicket. It was a very bad case, that one. Or even in this one, that Pakistani young boys, the bowlers and umpire could have said, dead ball, and finished off the matter there. I suggest that is a good practice to follow. That is what I think. All right. Yes. Anything? Any other questions on this issue? Yes. Pratap?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to make a point. Ki, if we say ki bowlers and umpire like some say call करेगा वो कि dead ball है नहीं, then then happens कि bowlers and umpiring कहते हैं कि ये straight leg umpire का call है.
नहीं नहीं
Yes, I
नहीं
can.
कहेगा, वो कहना गलत है. उसका उसका इट इज नॉट हिज jurisdiction एट ऑल कि स्क्वायर लेग अंपायर कहेगा वैसे करेगा. नहीं, जो मैं कहूंगा वो वैसे करेगा. दैट इज व्हाट द लॉ सेज. That is what
Mr.
the
Singh,
law says.
Mr. Singh, I was hearing some echo when
Yes, sir.
Shweta was
Yes, sir.
talking.
There is a yes, sir. There is an echo, sir.
There is an echo. So let me quit and come back to you on the browser. So today I'll be getting a dump uh, voice dump, and I'll contact him tomorrow. I'll just come back. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, I can hear you too. I'll just share the screen again and share the entire screen and also the sound. All right. So we are back again. All right. So I hope there are no problems on here onwards. Okay, now coming to law 20.1. Coming to law 20, I want to tell you particularly about this particular aspect of the law. The ball will be deemed to be dead from the instant of the incident causing the dismissal. Now, this is a very small statement, and the effect of this statement can be far-reaching, something perhaps which the lawmakers did not anticipate, but now it changes a few things. The ball will be deemed to be dead from the instant of the incident causing the dismissal. So therefore, when there is an appeal, say for LBW, and I raise my finger after the gap of maybe 2 seconds, 3 seconds or whatever, and the striker is simply gaping at me. He is gaping at me. And I have raised my hand here. The ball becomes dead from the instant the ball hit the pad. All right. Now that ball happens to go to slip, and slip throws the ball at the striker's wicket. Will that run out be counted? Is the question. Will that run out be counted? The ball became dead at a particular point of time, and after that the ball has been thrown, and while he's still looking at me waiting for a decision, or maybe showing me the bat or whatever.
Yes, it is counted.
It will not, because the ball was dead. The run out incident is erased from the tape.
Right,
When,
but batsman is
when they
supposed to
tell
be
you,
standing back in
when,
the.
pardon?
I thought because if it is dead, only if you give it out. If you give it not out, I mean, he can still be out based on run out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. The ball, I have given the batsman out LBW, and the ball, the law says, has become dead from the instant of the incident, not
Oh.
from raising my finger, from
Oh.
my giving the ball striking the pad. The ball is dead, and after the ball is dead, how can any action be allowed?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you didn't give it out.
No,
You said not out.
I gave it out LBW.
Okay, then that's yeah. That's so it's retroactive to
Naturally,
the
that counts.
yeah. So
Naturally, that
it's
counts.
Yeah, so it's retroactive to what happened, that
Yes,
LBW
it is
situation.
with
Yeah,
a retrospective effect that it is dead from that point, and in the
yeah,
meantime he throws the wicket down. That means that run out doesn't count.
doesn't count. Right.
Not only that. Look at law 20.6. Dead ball not to be revoked. Once the ball is dead, no revoking of any decision can bring the ball back into play for that delivery. Once the ball is dead, no revoking of any decision can bring the ball back into play for that delivery. It means that, for instance, now uh, an umpire on the field of play rarely gives the batsman, rarely overturns his own decision. Rarely. I have done it once. I do not recommend that you do it. It was a Dilip Trophy match where on a rather bad pitch, the ball kept going down, sitting down, and coming up, and all that. A ball shot through, and the batsman was Sabah Karim, the captain of East Zone. This was East Zone versus South Zone, where I believe Dravid was the captain, W.V. Raman was the manager, and I gave ball sat down, and I gave uh, Sabah Karim out LBW. But I immediately realized that no, he's perhaps played it, and I immediately reversed my decision. I said, no, sorry, Sabah, I think I'm wrong. Carry on and play. So, which David didn't like. He came rushing to me. You can't do that. You can't do that. I said, look, I am within my rights to change my decision, provided I do it promptly. That is the law. And if you remember, we discussed in Law 2, and in discussed in Law 2, we might momentarily look at what Law 2 says, where my decision, the umpire's decision is final. The umpire's decision is final, but he is allowed to change his decision. Uh, an umpire may alter any decision provided that such alteration is made promptly and does not contradict Law 20.6, dead ball not to be revoked. This is again a reference to that. I am allowed to change my decision. That is the law. And my altering the decision does not bring the ball back into play for that delivery. So let me elaborate what I mean. Now, first let me tell you that Rahul Dravid didn't like it, and in the face of my firmly standing with my alteration, he went away. He had no other option. Uh, the next day, WV, when I was doing the mowing, etc., WV Raman was around. He said, MR, what happened about that thing? I said, look, the ball sat down and I gave a hurried decision. I gave him out. I realized immediately that he is not out, and I changed it. And I did the right thing. So he didn't say anything at all. He must have spoken to Venkat overnight, and Venkat must have told him it is within his right to change his decision. He must have told him. Anyway, that was over. I do not recommend you do this all the time. Please don't do it. Though you are free to do it, there is a provision which allows you to do it, but it can undermine your own confidence, and it can shake you. You might go downhill from then on. Most umpires, they believe that yes, they have given it out and they will stand by it and let it be. Though they may think otherwise, that maybe I made a mistake, but they won't correct it. I did it only once in my career, and it is not something that is to be repeated, and I also do not recommend you. And it will undermine the confidence of the players in you as an umpire. So frankly, I don't recommend it. Now the point I am coming to is, suppose in this case, I gave Sabah Karim out and I changed the decision. Suppose in the meantime, the ball slip fielder had hit the wicket, also claiming a run out. Now, according to this law, what has happened is the ball becomes dead from an earlier period. And we have decided, we are clear that now that run out will not count. And even if I change my decision, that run out will not count because the ball doesn't come back into play for that delivery. so that run out will not at all count even if I change my decision. Now, like I told you, the umpire on the field changing his decision is a very rare occurrence. I have done it only once in my career. You might never do it at all. All right. But today, in today's cricket, the third umpire may change five of your decisions, five in an innings. In all these cases, the ball does not come back into play for that delivery. You have given somebody out, the ball becomes dead, the third umpire overturns your decision. He cannot then look for that other option, run out option also. He is precluded from law. Unless they change the dead ball law, he is precluded by the law from having a look at that decision, because that is erased. Once the ball is dead, it is erased. That is why after an LBW appeal is overturned and the ball has reached the boundary line, you don't give those 4 runs as boundary. You don't, do you? Because the ball has become dead when on impact. Similarly, when the ball had become dead on impact, that run out doesn't count. That run out not only does not count, it does not count even if I overturn my decision or the third umpire overturns my decision. Now, what was rare earlier now is the frequent occurrence. But this law, both these laws together, the effect of these two laws together means that the ball will be deemed to be dead from the impact of the ball on the pad. That is one. Are we clear about that? And secondly, even if I change my own decision or the third umpire changes my decision, that ball will not come back into play for that dismissal, for that delivery. So that run out effort will not be counted at all. That is the effect of these two laws. That is the effect of these two laws. Uh, for a normal game, it is a rare thing to happen. But it is a frequent occurrence as far as today's game is concerned, where the third umpire can overturn any number of your decisions. He then cannot consider that particular run out of effort and give that out. He cannot. The law precludes him from doing it. I hope you are okay with this. I hope you are okay with this. Then
Yes,
I
sir.
will tell you, then I will tell you one more aspect you may have not considered. In the bold law, there is a provision for precedence. If there are two decisions involved, if there are two decisions, one bold and one other, uh, the bold will prevail over the other. All right, of the striker. Is it there in the laws? You must know it, I'm sure.
Yes,
It is
sir.
there in the laws?
Yeah.
Yes? Yes. Similarly, in the court law, other than bold, if somebody is caught and any other batsman is out otherwise, the court will prevail. The court will prevail. Are we all right with that?
Yeah.
That is the law. That is the law. Now, this change in the law changes that also. I'll tell you how. Uh, let us talk about three decisions. One thing, there is an LBW along with bold. Bold will prevail. All right. Bold will prevail. We are clear. There is a caught and say a hit wicket. Caught will prevail. That is the standard law. And if there is a caught and a run out at the other end, caught will prevail. Okay, we have been taught that. For instance, the example I wanted to give you is that the ball is hit by the striker, which hits the hand of the bowler and it hits the wicket, and then it goes up and it's caught at mid-on. Who is out? Who is out? Yes,
Striker is out.
the striker is out caught. That is what we have always been taught. The age-old question, which there was no answer in the laws. We used to earlier there were no answers, but from the 1980 code, when the precedence laws came in bold and then caught and all that, we have been doing that. Then the law had an answer. Now what has happened is, now I'll give you another instance where the striker has hit the ball deep to square leg or long on, and he breaks his wicket and the ball is caught. What is the decision? What is to be recorded?
Break in, you mean like he hit wicket, right?
He broke the wicket. He was out hit wicket also, and the
Right.
catch
So it's a
was also
caught.
taken there.
So it's a caught.
Caught. Caught will prevail. Now, see, all of these things have a history there right from the 1940s, 1930s. There were two prominent umpires in England. One was Frank Chester, and the other's name I am missing. Uh, the decision was, the incident was that the ball had hit the pad of the striker, and the umpire, in both cases, the umpire gave out, and the ball trickled and broke the wicket. Went back and broke the wicket after the decision was given. Frank Chester held the view, he got it recorded as bowled. Whereas the other umpire, he recorded it at LBW on the basis that once I have given the batter out caught, I mean LBW, the ball is dead. The ball is dead. That is what was his argument. But then the lawmakers went along with what Frank Chester said, and they, in a small note in the law, they said bold will prevail. So we have been following it for years, right from the 60s when and all that, my playing days and all that. Then I started umpiring 78 and all. We have been learning that 1947 code. And there used to be a question about the bowler and the striker and the run out of the non-striker and all that. We have been following that. Now what has happened is, this law says the ball will be deemed to be dead from the instant of the incident causing the dismissal. That means if I have given the batter out LBW, the second incident doesn't count, as if it has not happened. As if it has not happened. So let us take each of them one by one. If I have given the batsman out LBW, the ball instantly becomes dead from the incident, the time the ball struck the pad, and the breaking of the wicket as if it has not happened. The second decision won't count. Okay? That is what has happened to the precedence law. It has been changed now. But if I do not give the decision, then you stick to precedence law, bold and LBW. Many times it happens, I don't give a decision, but that immediately the wicket is also broken. You would be absolutely right in following the precedence law given in law 32, which says bold shall prevail. But if you have given LBW, the other decision will not count. Similarly, the catch and the run out. The ball has hit here, and you have seen the fielder, the bowler touch the ball, and he has broken the wicket. What does a umpire normally do? What would you do? You have already moved square. You would raise your finger. You would raise your finger. And suppose you have raised your finger for that, and the ball is then caught at mid-on, deep mid-on. The ball is dead when you raise your finger. That will not count. But suppose you have not given the decision, then please apply the precedence law which is given in law 33, I believe it is, court law. Court law, uh, court will prevail over all other decisions if the decision is not given. If the decision is not given. Now let us come to the third example. The ball has been hit to long on, and while playing the stroke, the batsman also broke the wicket. Before the ball is caught there, the square leg umpire has raised his finger for uh, hit wicket. What will prevail?
The hit wicket prevails, yeah, if he gives a decision early before the catch is made.
Yes, and suppose I don't give the decision. Suppose I don't give the decision. Then naturally you will apply the precedence law in law 33, which says over hit wicket and all other decisions except bold, court will prevail. Now this has actually happened in IPL. I think
Actually, I remember reading that point. I completely forgot when you gave me that example.
yes, yes, yes. I'll show you that. I'll show you that. So this is from IPL. Where Rashid Khan was the batsman involved. He hit the ball
He's gone
to long on.
downtown. Is an opportunity, and it's taken.
Well, he's out hit wicket actually. What is going on out there? He's actually trodden his stumps. So here we are admiring a catch in front of us, but he's healed the off stump. We're seeing it all, Sonny.
Yes. So if it is two dismissals, what about another batsman also being given out? Bangs his wicket with his foot, gets the connection. He's caught a long on as well.
There was another film of this, shot of this from this position, where the umpire, he's begun to raise his hand, where he actually is seen to give the batsman out like this. He is actually seen to do this, and this he did. This was referred to the MCC. This was referred to the MCC, and the MCC says court takes precedence over any other form of dismissal except bold, law 33(1). If the striker is not out bowled, then he is out caught, even though a decision against either batsman for another method of dismissal would be justified. So why was Khan not declared out? Caught. Simple. The square leg umpire Anil Chaudhary had declared him out hit wicket as soon as he hit the stump. Automatically at that point, the ball became dead. And according to law 2113, the ball is deemed to be dead from the instant of the incident causing the dismissal. So quite naturally, the second decision simply did not count, as if it was erased from the tape, because the ball, the umpire gave it out. And they even go on to suggest that in such cases, the umpire should hold back his decision and not raise his finger. That is what they, but it doesn't always happen. As a sort of reflex, like Anil Chaudhary, you are likely to raise your finger when an appeal is made. And similarly, in a situation where I am at the bowler's end, I have moved, I have seen the wicket broken. No real umpire, no umpire will truly look behind to see what is happening to the ball. 99 times of 100, he will not be doing that. He will raise his finger. But suppose he does not. Now let us, for our following the law, let us be clear that once you raise your finger, the second decision does not count. That is how as simple as it is. But if you have not raised your finger for the first incident, then you are free to decide whether bowled or whether caught. You are free to decide that. then nothing comes in the way of that law. So what has happened today with this 20.113? What has happened with this is that it has perhaps inadvertently altered the precedence law, which we have been following for so many decades. That is the effect of this particular law. That is the effect of this particular law. This is what happened. All right. That is how it is. Am I clear about this? Is it all right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I told you, I promised you that a lot of your thinking will be radically changed as regard when we discuss the dead ball law, and this is one aspect of it, and one aspect of it. Yes.
I think there was a question earlier from Shweta, but I could not hear at all. Do you guys mind?
Shweta, what was your question you had asked? Do you recall?
Not sir, no sir.
Acha.
Sir, one question I have. I have one question, sir.
Yes, yes, tell me.
Sir, we know, sir, without appeal we can't give out, right, sir? So suppose there was an हमें पता as I was at striker end and I knew batsman hit wicket हो गया
हाँ.
and appeal नहीं हुई है. In that case, should I interrupt कि भाई out है और
नहीं
there appeal होनी चाहिए?
नहीं होनी. That you are prohibited from doing that.
Sir,
You
suppose
can't do that.
it's a live game, sir. Then
नहीं, you can't do that. You are not supposed to be doing that. वो तो लाइव
right.
गेम है, अपने आप वो आएंगे करेंगे, अपने आप वो पता चल जाएगा. जब पता चल जाएगा तो अपील अपने आप करेंगे. But it is not within your scope to tell them.
Yes, sir.
There is no out or not out from you, coming from you at all. There is no way you can do that. All right?
Right, sir.
Okay. Now what has happened to my mouse here? Here it is. All right. So are we clear about this? So this is how it is going to change things. Okay. Now going on to law 20.4.2, one of the things that I pointed out here, the ball here also, the ball will be considered to be dead at the instant of the incident causing the ball to become dead. This will have its effect also. One of the things that I also told you, let us go over all these laws which are there. When either umpire shall call and signal dead ball, and in each case, the ball becomes dead from the time of the incident. Remember that. That is what we have been told. Except for these four things, where there is, it is possible that there may be an undue advantage or disadvantage to the non-offending side. Okay. A possibly serious injury occurs to a player or umpire. The umpire is to call dead ball. When he sees that there is a possibility to a player or umpire, uh, possibly serious injury to a player or umpire, he will call dead ball. The dead ball will become effective from the time of the injury, and even if that man has broken the wicket while falling down, that will not count. So as a result of this, this is not something this is something that can no longer happen in cricket. Let me show you. Even if that is why I said the law has been changed to allow you to call dead ball even later on, so as to correct a lapse or a mistake on your part. Here it is. This happened in a test match. Just listen to the commentary also.
Oh, and that's hitting him a nasty blow.
In this test match situation, however, the umpire did not call and signal dead ball. Why not? Although the batter was injured, the ball rebounded and broke the wicket. The batsman was out.
Now the position of the law at that time was that the umpire has not called dead ball. Therefore, whatever happens up to that point of time uh, will count, including the dismissal of the batter. Now no longer so. You can call dead ball later. See, in this situation, there was no scope for the umpire really to call dead ball because things happened very fast. Sometimes there may be between the ball hitting him, he may stumble and you may have the time to call dead ball. Here in this case, it was clear that the umpire had no time, absolutely no time. In this situation, he can call dead ball. And from when will the dead ball become effective? From the time of the injury. And therefore, the hit wicket won't count. Therefore, the hit wicket won't count. So this thing cannot happen anymore. You call dead ball, automatically the law says it has become effective from the time of the injury. And automatically the batter is protected. You have to do nothing. And you are not even trying to, you call dead ball. And your call of dead ball means ball becomes dead from that point of time. And naturally, hit wicket won't count. As if it is erased from the tape, so to say. I'll give you other situations also. Leaving his normal position for consultation, call dead ball and move from your position so as to not allow anything to happen behind your back. Nowadays, you will even collect the ball. All right. Now, we already discussed the striker is not ready for the delivery of the ball and he makes no attempt to play it. Before you are just two facts that you have to have before you call dead ball always, even though late. And once you call dead ball, that ball doesn't count. There was earlier some scope for umpires to argue that मैंने dead ball call नहीं किया तो इसका मतलब whatever happens till that time is out, is to be given. No longer so. No longer so. You call dead ball, the dead ball becomes effective from the time the fellow backs out and the ball doesn't count. What is in your scope is if the umpire is satisfied that the striker had adequate reason for not being ready, the ball shall not count as one of the over. But if I am satisfied, then had adequate reason for not being ready, the ball shall not count. If I am not satisfied about his reason, uh, I will not give him an extra ball. I will count that ball. I will count that ball in that case. All right. And now here I'll show you an example. One or more bails following from the striker's wicket before the striker had an opportunity to play the ball. This is also one of the cases that had gone before the MCC and which had prompted this particular change also was one of the reasons. One of the reasons. Let us have a look at this. This is from a test match. Listen to the commentary also and the exchange between the umpires. You can listen to that also and it is interesting. Yeah.
It's a hit wicket.
Always check.
No. So you refer hit wicket, no?
Refer hit wicket. Yeah, copy that. Checking hit. Third umpire to
He will check.
director.
He will check.
Umpire review for hit wicket. It's a fair delivery. Give me the best side on for hit wicket, please.
You can
It
hear
will
the
check everything.
commentary.
Don't worry. Technology will give you everything.
Okay. Yeah, bails are off. It's dead ball. Dead ball, please. Dead ball. Dead
Ball?
ball. Nitin, dead ball.
No, Shams, you can't call dead ball now. Ball has been delivered. Can't call it dead ball now. Unless we saw it, then only we can call it.
Okay, then I will make the decision. Decision to the big screen.
Better.
Not out. Repeat. Not out.
Now
Ball
here,
slip.
they had a problem with the number of
Ball
balls
slip.
also.
Hold on. I will let you know. Just hold on.
Number of deliveries. Everybody had lost count of the balls, it seems.
One more. One
Ball
more.
slip.
1-1.
Shams, just inform the scorers that we have not signaled dead ball because they were flashing at the light. Just
Okay.
inform them there.
Okay. Yeah, Nitin, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I will let you know. Hold on, please.
Massive
Nitin,
confusion
over,
about the
please.
number of
Over.
deliveries.
Yeah.
Now here, there are a few things here you might see. Now, one of the things is that it appears that this stump was loose, and I always recommend that your stump should be firm. That is why one of the stumps has fallen back and has caused this problem. One can prevent such a thing, awkward thing to happen from happening by merely by a small. You can all you need to do is in the morning make sure that this area is properly watered. The stumps might have been broken 2 or 3 times perhaps, and the ground might be dry, and the one stump might be loose. That is what has happened. It has simply dropped back for no reason at all, because very clearly the earth below it has been loose. Earth below it has been loose. I would suggest that umpires, as a regular practice, must make sure first thing in the morning, see that everything is firm. Let it not be loose, because these awkward things do happen. All right. Another thing I
It's
can
a hit wicket.
observe was, I do
And
not
always
know.
check.
Uh,
No, no. So you refer hit wicket,
it
no?
is very easy
Refer,
to miss
refer it
such a
wicket.
thing. The bowlers and umpires
Yeah.
simply
Copy
cannot
that.
see it, could
Checking
not
hit.
have seen it. The strikers and
Third
umpire
umpire to
perhaps
He will
should have
check.
director.
noticed,
He will check.
but it is
Umpire
easy to
review
miss.
for hit
Quiet
wicket. It's a
dropping
fair
of the bail.
delivery. Give me the
It's
best
very
side on for
easy
hit
to miss.
wicket, please.
But then that things
That
are
it will
helped
check
if
everything.
you
Don't
are in
worry.
position in the first place.
Technology will give you everything.
But look at this. He was out of position. He did not notice. I think his face was turned towards the
Yeah, bails are off.
bowler. Now here you will
It's
observe
dead ball. Dead ball, please.
the third umpire immediately calls for dead
Wickets are
ball to
off.
be called. Dead ball. But the field umpire
It's
does not
dead ball.
agree.
Dead
He
ball,
says
please.
no.
Dead
We
ball.
cannot call dead ball because we have
Dead
not
ball.
seen it.
Nitin, dead ball.
No, Shams, you can't call dead ball now. Ball has been delivered. Can't call it dead ball now. Unless we saw it, then only we can call it.
Okay, then I will make the decision. Decision to the big screen.
Better.
I also did not like the comment better. I have my own reasons for it. But now the point here is, uh, at that time, yes, there was no law. This was one of the things that went to the MCC. The stand taken was that we haven't seen it, therefore we cannot call it. Now, when your third umpire tells you that it is dead ball and he has told you that the bail has fallen from one of the wickets of the striker's wicket, either of the bails has fallen, the right action for you to is called dead ball. The right action for you to is to call dead ball always, regardless of anything else. Even if the ball, now there are a few things that can happen. Now this stump has fallen loose. It doesn't have a bail on top. There is a bail here. It has come away this way. I would like to ask these umpires, suppose the ball has hit this stump and gone away without uprooting it, had gone away to third man for 4. Would you allow 4 byes? Or this stump was uprooted, would you give the batsman out bowled? Yes or no? I'd like to ask them. Thirdly, suppose the ball had hit this one of these two stumps and dropped the other bail. Would that have been out bowled? So all of these things, what the law envisages is now it is not a properly made wicket. The bail has fallen down, the stump is gone awry, and it is not a properly made wicket. And the law doesn't care who is disadvantaged or who gets an advantage. No, we just do not want that. That situation where one side or possibly this side or the other side can be disadvantaged with that particular thing. The law now says call dead ball. Call dead ball. Even if late. And when you call dead ball, that dead ball takes effect from the time the bail fell. And therefore any other incident, ball going to the boundary, bowled huna, all that doesn't count and will not count. So this was one of the instances where such a thing did happen. And maybe they were right at that time. There was no law to correct the umpires uh, say mistake in not calling. Here you can't call it their mistake also. But there was no time for it. They didn't see it. There was no time. But when the third umpire said, he said the right thing, called dead ball. But they did not agree, and now they have made it the law. Therefore, this was one of the incidents that contributed for that to that change in the law. So now, please accept the fact that when you come to realize that a bail has fallen uh, through your own senses, which is less likely we were not watching or you could not see it, then you can do nothing about it. But uh, the third umpire tells you, do it. Even if late, do it, call dead ball and make sure that. But then there are lessons here that you must understand is one of the things that I always tell umpires is that uh, when you are at square leg, if the batsman striker plays forward, watch the line, and if the striker plays back, watch the wicket. That is my advice to umpires. Now have a look at this. I
It's a
believe
hit
that
wicket.
umpire at square leg wasn't looking
Always check.
No,
at
no.
the
So you refer hit wicket, no?
Refer hit wicket. Yeah, copy that. Checking hit. Third umpire to
He will check.
director.
He will check.
Umpire review for hit wicket. It's a fair delivery.
and
Give me the best
prevent
7
this
for hit
kind of
wicket.
thing from happening to you by making sure that your
That
wicket
it
is
will check everything.
properly
Don't worry.
pitched at all times. At all
Technology
times.
will give you everything.
I suggest you do that. Look at that. The stump was loose and the bail fell off. The umpire was not looking at the action. I do not know
Yeah,
where he
bails
was.
are
I
off.
think he was looking at the action, but it is easy to miss it. I don't blame him
It's
at all.
dead ball. Dead
It is
ball,
easy to
please.
miss it. Even
Dead
then,
ball.
it is all right for us to be experts
Dead
Ball.
ball.
saying it in slow
Nitin, dead
motion.
ball.
No, Shams, you can't call dead ball now. Ball has been delivered.
And this is how it is. So this is what the law says. One or more bails fall from the striker's wicket before the striker had an opportunity of playing the ball. Always it is dead ball. And now the law allows you to call it even later. Maybe at that time it did not, or so the umpire felt. But now the law does allow you to call it later, and naturally, ball hitting the stumps and going to the boundary or the bat stump being uprooted, all of that will not count. Will simply not count. Okay? Striker not ready with, and the striker is distracted by any noise or movement or any other way while preparing to receive or receiving a delivery. See, what happens is this, there is a difference between this and this. There is a difference between the two. The striker is distracted by any noise or movement or any other way while preparing to receive or receiving a delivery. Here he may even have played it. Here it is very clear that he backs off and makes no attempt to play it. We save him. But here it is possible that there is a distraction. Loud big bang goes up in the pavilion while preparing to receive, and he is distracted by that. The umpire is instructed to protect the batter in this case, the striker in this case. Now this shall apply whether the sound of the very, and also the ball shall not count in the over is one of the things given here. And the ball shall not count in the over is adequate reason. All right. An interesting example came up only recently in a game of this. Otherwise, I could have just told you verbally only. But here, fortunately, I have, or is it in my this YouTube accidentally? Yeah, here it is. I have a link to this. An interesting thing has happened in this game.
That's where Tassie Tigers
Yeah,
were
just
so
watch.
far today.
Getting in behind it as Meredith continues. He's this time
Now he's
backing
made an
away.
attempt to play the ball
And he's given
and
it.
Well,
was
this
given
is
out,
interesting.
caught behind,
So
rightly
this is
so.
interesting. We just need to hold it here.
But he claimed that he was distracted by the
Hughes
towel
stopped
falling down.
because the rag,
What
if you like,
the
or the
replay?
towel came out of the back of Meredith's pants. So the umpire's given it, but now they're having a chat. So this is
He
interesting.
certainly did take that. It was very late, obviously, from Hughes, but he certainly took that backing away motion.
He should have just backed away and not played a shot.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have swung at the ball.
Almost
Because now it's
instinctive
yeah.
in that situation.
He should have just walked away, which is well within his rights, because the white towel can actually get in the way or can not help the vision, I suppose, of tracking the ball.
So basically, he's walked away to leave it.
So
but
they have
he did play
considered
a
it a
shot. So the counter
distraction
argument would be that he's
and
then agreed to take part in the delivery, but
reversed
it
the
has been
decision of out.
signalled dead, I believe, by the umpire.
Need to get clarification here. From what I understand, I could be wrong, but what I understand is when the towel falls out, the ball can become dead. And he's gesturing straight away. He just should have pulled out. He shouldn't have swung.
So it was given out caught behind, as it indeed was. But as you can see from that footage, so just as he was passing the umpire, the towel has fallen out. So only a split second before the ball was released. And the signal from the umpire looks like it's going to be dead.
So this came up recently, quite an interesting thing. And I think they did the right thing by giving that not out, changing it. And the law says, look at the law. The striker is distracted by any noise or movement or in any other way while preparing to receive or receiving a delivery. There is no mention of his playing the ball or not playing the ball is not mentioned here. And this shall apply whether now this happens to be from within the match or it could be a loud bang from the stands. So I think this was an interesting case here of this particular law being applied. I think they have properly applied this law. Had this not been there, I would have been only discussing this in theory with you. Yes, anything to say, George?
Yeah, we had a discussion about this when it happened, I think a couple of months ago. And my take was, I think I felt that that was the incorrect decision by the umpire. But the only reason is, yes, towel fell down, he was distracted, but he should have pulled out. And he didn't. And you saw that, right? He clearly played the ball. And imagine what would have happened if the ball took an edge and went to the boundary. I mean, would he have said, I got distracted?
You're right about that point of view, that he would have perhaps then been okay with the boundary. But here it was a case where he was given out actually, and the law does not say anything about his pulling out. That is
That is
why
true.
that is the difference between the two, a vital
Right.
difference between the two.
Yeah,
That the
if you look
umpire
at the
decides.
where, if I'm sorry, if you look at the where the towel dropped, after that, bowler almost took, I think, 5 to 6 steps and to come and deliver the ball. If a striker wasn't ready or distracted in any way, he had. I thought he had enough time to pull out. Even despite, I think
Yes,
that the
perhaps
wicket is
you can say
rightly
that
better.
perhaps he wrongly claimed distraction, and had it been a four, he might not have claimed that distraction. All right,
Yeah.
you are perhaps right, but then that hasn't happened, and here the umpires allowed him to do it. So I
Sure.
felt that in the umpire's position, I might have because I couldn't see it. It happened behind the umpire. The
Right.
umpire couldn't see it at all, so he couldn't have called dead ball earlier. But only when it was claimed by the batter that the umpires took a view that yes, we will go under this law and give him the relief and reverse the decision. But human beings, being what they are, he might not had it gone for four. He may not have claimed that he was distracted. You're right there. He perhaps would have done that. You're right in your thinking. But
Yeah,
then
but
this
the
is not
only
what
see
happened.
if the towel had dropped, let's say 2 steps before the delivery stride, I would have said yes,
It
absolutely.
was
Because
it was only it was only 3 steps. It was only 3 steps, not more than that.
was it okay? Because
It-
that guy, he bowls like 150 kilometers an hour. He's pretty quick bowler. So I would say, oh,
oh
he didn't have time. Muscle memory kicks in. He threw his bat. Fine, but
yes.
I just thought it was kind of weird.
No, this is I mean, what we can only call it conjecture.
Mhm.
But then this is what it is. He had about 3 feet away, 3 steps away. It dropped, and he claimed he touched the ball. He played it. But the important point for us to note is here there is no rule in the law which says that he should not have attempted to play. He should not have attempted to play. Or there is it could have been a little closer also. Like my call of dead ball. Suppose it had happened in my view, as an umpire, in my view, I immediately called dead ball, and uh, the ball reaching him, the striker, the ball reaching the striker, he would still play it. There, the law doesn't insist that he should not have attempted to play. He maybe instinctively went and played it. Or there is
Yeah.
a loud bang in the stands there, and I called dead ball. And instinctively he went, the ball came to him, he went for it and played it. The law doesn't say that he should not have attempted to play. That is the difference between uh, uh, point 4 and point 5 and point 6 here. Between striker not being ready, he should make no attempt to play. And here there is a distraction. The umpires felt there is a distraction, and he is not required to not be playing it, because very often he will be instinctively going into the stroke to play it. It was open for him to back off. Then we would be applying 20.4.2.5. But
Yeah.
here, the lawmakers applied this, and I feel rightly, 20.4.2.6. It is a fit thing that comes. Uh, uh, Circumstances fit this particular thing. They got a chance to apply this very rare thing, relatively rare thing there, and this was quite unique. This is quite unique. All right. Okay. Now where were we? Yes, we got the time. Yes.
Excuse
Yes.
me, sir.
Shweta,
Yes, sir. One question.
बोलिए.
Sir, I had experienced this previous year season here in Punjab that
हाँ हाँ.
Pandau Stadium you might know about it. वहां से सर रेलवे लाइन जाती है लाइक
अच्छा.
तो सर ट्रेन पास होती है वहां से अब हर आधे घंटे 45 मिनट के बाद सो दैट इन दैट केस लाइक इतना नॉइज होता है सो दैट उस बिटवीन में क्या हमें प्ले स्टॉप करना चाहिए और लेट के खेलते रहना चाहिए लाइक कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है समटाइम्स हमें एज लगा कोई वो ना सुना मतलब ये चीजें ऐसी हो सकती हैं। इन दैट केसेस अगर हम प्ले स्टॉप करना चाहे फॉर दैट 30 सेकंड or 20 सेकंड, we can or not?
I don't know, but the level of noise is that high that you cannot hear anything at all. It is so high, the noise level.
Yes sir, yes sir, it's very very close sir. Some take the example of sir aeroplane. अब पीसी स्टेडियम के ऊपर से एरोप्लेन इतनी जाती हैं सर,
हाँ
काफी नॉइज होता है।
अच्छा
तो इन दैट केसेस क्या कर सकते हैं अगर, या फिर चलने दे, या फिर वी कैन स्टॉप फॉर 30 सेकंड्स और
No, I don't know. Generally, you don't stop for these things. Generally, you don't stop. You
राइट
know
सर?
that this is happening even over. Now, I'll tell you, in my first match, one day international, uh, India versus England at Bangalore. There was so much noise on that ground. My voice from my ear I could not hear it. From my mouth to my ear, the voice could not go. You have to live with it. It was there in Bangalore. What they do not stop people from bringing their drums and all those musical instruments. They do not. The noise level was terrible, terrible. And I actually tried it, calling, speaking to myself. I couldn't hear it. My ears couldn't hear it. It was that bad. So there is no way you can really stop unless it is so startling and all of the fighter jet coming low on over you can make a tremendous noise. I don't know if you've heard it. It can make a tremendous noise, and if it comes over you quite fast and unexpectedly, you will instinctively call dead ball. It is that bad. That noise of a fighter jet coming low over you is very, very bad. I experienced this once when India and Pakistan were at war, and I was about to enter the lift of a building, and the jet flew very low. An alert was sounded, and a jet flew very low, and you instinctively duck like this, just because of the noise, just because of the noise. So unless it is that you see it as a distraction or something, yes, you might even call dead ball. But for the routine thing, you might not stop play. There are many grounds where there are adjoining airfields and all that, so things go on. You manage it. You might not stop. और रेलवे का इतना ज्यादा आवाज होता है, I do not know if that is the case. Okay. So here now, yeah. Now here going further, there is an instance of deliberate attempt to distract under either of the laws 41.4 and 41.5, where again it is said that the ball shall not count as one of the over. When we will discuss in detail when we come to these, but here it is only listed. And like it is given in law 17, this is one of the instances where 4 instances of unfair play, these are 2 of them, 41.4 and 41.5, where the ball will not count in the over. Again, we are instructed to call dead ball immediately in both these cases. When we do read the law, we will see what happens. The bowler drops the ball accidentally before delivery. He loses control of the ball and drops it before delivery. The bowler throws the ball towards the striker's end before entering his delivery stride. Now, this is a new change in the laws. For decades, the law has stated, this particular law has stated that when the bowler runs up on his bowling run up, he can throw the ball at the non-striker's wicket in order to claim a run out if he finds the non-striker has gone out. And if he throws at the striker's wicket, who may be standing outside his crease, maybe 2 feet or whatever, and he throws there at that end, for a long time the law said that it would be no ball. The law said it would be no ball. Now the law says that it is dead ball. This is a new change. If the bowler throws the ball at the striker's wicket in his delivery stride, it is a no ball. In his delivery stride, it is a no ball. That is a throw, a no ball. But before entering his delivery stride, if he throws it in an attempt to run out the striker, it's dead ball. It's a dead ball. Remember that. Now, I was in some ways connected with this because in the sense that I had some interaction with the MCC about a solution to this, and I had suggested a lot of things because what happened was over the years, over the decades, there were a lot of things in this particular situation which were not answered by the law. Like for example, I'll give you. Suppose the bowler throws the ball at the striker who is standing outside his crease there before the delivery strike. What if the striker hits that ball? Is he allowed to hit that ball? Suppose he misses and it goes for runs, whether runs should be allowed or not. What happens if the ball strikes the wicket there? Is it a run out or what is it? So there were many questions which were unanswered, and there was no consensus on what to be done on these 3-4 points which were there. So now the lawmaker said, enough is enough. There are no answers for those things. There are no answers. So what we will do is, if he throws the ball at the striker's wicket in his run-up, we will allow him to throw at the non-striker's wicket and try and claim a run-out, which is fine. But if he does that to the striker, in all cases it will be dead ball. We don't want any Jamela. We do not want any of those. We have no answers to those questions. Simply no answers. And for decades there have been no answers. They have left those things unanswered, unaddressed. Frankly, I'll tell you. I've been looking at the laws closely. There are, if you pick up previous laws, the answers to all these questions are not there. So now they say dead ball. Simple answer is called dead ball. So remember always, if the bowler on his run-up has thrown the ball to the striker's wicket, it is always dead ball. Either umpire can call dead ball. But if he does it in his delivery stride, it is a normal throw which is also penalized. Which is also penalized. We will discuss that when we come to the next law, Law 21. All right. The ball does not leave the bowler's hand for any reason. For any reason, there are many times if he fails to let go of the ball. It has happened to me a few times. And instinctively, if you don't see the ball, your instinctive action is dead ball. Your instinctive action, any practice umpire immediately calls dead ball. It is a kind of reflex. But if it is other than in an attempt to run the non-striker, you are prohibited from calling dead ball if the ball has been retained for the purpose of running out the non-striker. Because the non-striker who has left the crease is liable to be run out. So you should not stop the bowler by calling dead ball. No, in that case you are prohibited from calling dead ball and allow the incident of run out to occur. Otherwise, if you call dead ball, then he will be stopped from running out the non-striker. So therefore, the law says you are supposed to call dead ball for any reason other than attempt to run out the non-striker under law 38.3, batsman, striker, non-striker leaving the ground early. Remember, there is a prohibition here. When we come to the run-out law, we will discuss this in more detail. Just remember, there is a prohibition for the umpire to call dead ball. All right. He is satisfied that the ball in play cannot be recovered. This has replaced what was earlier the lost ball law. It cannot be recovered in the sense that the ball is within the ground, but it cannot be recovered. There can be many reasons for it. It has got struck on a tree which you have not decided is a boundary. It had got stuck on a tree which has not been decided as a boundary. So therefore, and who will climb up there? In the meantime, they'll run 30 runs. But if you feel that cannot be recovered, you call dead ball immediately. Whatever runs have been run up to that time will be allowed. Another reason can be that there is a dog who is standing over the ball and nobody dares to approach him. Nobody dares to approach him. These things have happened. Or there is a hole there in the middle of the ground. Now the ball is live, it is within the boundary. If it has crossed the boundary, it is already dead. There is no reason to call it dead. It is within the ground, there is a hole in the ground into which the ball has gone, and nobody dares to put his hand inside because it is a snake's hole or some other animal's hole and he can get bitten. So therefore, in such cases, the umpires will call dead ball. Now this replaces the earlier lost ball law. Earlier what used to happen was that the fielding side needed to call in these circumstances lost ball. And in all such cases, 6 runs were given to the batting side. 6 runs were given to the batting side for the call of lost ball in these circumstances. And the position of the batters would be retained as per the time of the call. So the fielding side has the option to time their call to decide weaker batsman strike लेगा तभी हम लोग lost ball करेंगे. 6 रन तो देना ही है. We have to give 6 runs, but then let us make the weaker batsman play. Now all that is no longer possible. The moment you realize that the ball is not recoverable, dead ball, whatever runs are accrued at the call and whatever be the batsman's position will be retained. So that the fielding side doesn't now have that chance to decide who will take strike. At one time, there was no lost ball law. As a result, it has been recorded that the batsmen have run some 30-35 runs before that ball was somehow brought down from the tree and brought back into play and brought to the wicket. That has also happened. That is also recorded. Therefore, they had made the lost ball law. Now the lost ball law is gone and it is left to the umpire alone that whenever there is a situation where the ball cannot be recovered, it is in the field of play but cannot be recovered, you will immediately call dead ball. You will immediately call dead ball. Even in this instance, uh, dead ball is the right call.
They're going to have to look to take 2. They're going to have to take a chance now. Oh, dog. Oh, the dog is the ball. Oh, here we go. Now that
is brilliant.
Now there we go. Dog has stopped play. Oh, there we go. I think we'll retrieve the ball. It may need a clean. I think this has brought COVID regulations to a whole new standard. Oh, on comes.
So this is another instance of a ball not recoverable, and naturally it is dead ball, and runs up to that point will count till the call. Runs up to that point will be called. Now coming to this law, where he considers that either side has been disadvantaged by person, animal, or other object within the field of play. Now, remember when we spoke about Law 19, in Law 19 we have a provision that if an animal, person or object has come into the field of play and he has intercepted the ball, the umpires have that option to one, call a boundary or not call a boundary. 2 options. Depending on circumstances, each case will be judged as per their varying different circumstances. There is no standard to be applied. But what generally you will do is, you and I will do is that you will look at the pace of the ball, the pace of the hit, uh, how far it is from the boundary, whether it would have, if not intercepted, would it have gone to the boundary, or if is there or is there not a fielder behind the ball there, or a fielder can reach behind the ball there. Under those circumstances, the two of you will get together and decide whether or not to give a boundary. But now that particular law has to be used in tandem with this law. It has to be used in tandem with this law, where you feel that either side has been disadvantaged by the person, animal, or object within the field of play. You should call dead ball. However, if both umpires consider the ball would have reached the boundary regardless of the intercept, the boundary should stand. So the instructions are clear. Both these provisions go mesh together. They are not mutually exclusive. They mesh together. And now you have got three options. When there is an interception between all both these provisions read together, the umpire has three options. That means one is that give a boundary, not give a boundary, and third is to call dead ball. But third is calling dead ball depends on whether you consider that one of the sides has been disadvantaged by that particular occurrence of that interception. I gave you an example from my experience where a dog was hit in the chest and he went away squealing, and the striker still ran ahead and he was run out. Now at that time there was no such regulation there, and I had reasoned that look, he saw the interception, he should have stayed put, but he went forward and he took that risk, so therefore out. But now applying this law, I would be right. The right thing for me to be doing is to call dead ball, because that interception by that animal has disadvantaged the batting side, has disadvantage to the batting side. Or you can consider many other things. There is a large rubber ball, large ball, one of those exercise balls somehow has come onto the field of play, and the ball has bounced over it and has been caught. What will you do with that? It might not be wrong to perhaps call that dead ball. There can be think up of other options that you can, other situations that you can. Or if you experience any such thing, please let me know. All right. This is also a new provision, which is in what is in red is also a new provision. Now there is one more, which is law 20.4.2.13. The striker attempts to play the ball and no part of his bat or person, whether grounded or raised, remains within the pitch as defined in law 6.1. Now I must confess that I have contributed to a very large extent to this change to be made. See, what had happened was, there were a few instances that I had seen in the IPL and other places where the ball was bowled, a wild ball went, whether he was in control or not is another thing, uh, besides the point. But the ball spiraled up and landed at behind of square, and the batsman went and chased it. The batsman went and chased it. There were other things also, similar things which had happened, and which set me thinking about what is the area up to which line up to which the striker can play the ball. The striker can play the ball. Can he go anywhere in the ground and play? Is the question. So I put up a note to the MCC telling them that look, and I today that dividing line between what is the striker's area and what is the up to where he can go, that Lakshman Rekha, so to say, is now faded. Is now faded. The strikers would go anywhere and play the ball. I'll show you a few instances. But I have fished out some old laws also, where there was an old law where pitching outside was not no ball, or rolling along the ground was not no ball from that period. And the law said that if the ball is properly delivered, ball goes this way and wide of the wicket, and the batsman has every right to play that ball till it crosses the line of his wicket. So that means that the line of his wicket is his Lakshman Rekha. He can't go beyond that. Once it crosses that line, I am supposed to call white ball. But till it crosses, the striker is entitled to hit it. And there are instances where the ball has stopped. The law had instructions which said that even if a fielder picks up the ball, I should tell him, no, leave it where it is. You take your position and the batter will hit the ball. He is allowed to hit the ball. There have been instances and there were instructions. But all that, besides that, this law gave me a hint that the Lakshman Rekha for the striker is the line of his striker's wicket, of the striker's wicket. Similarly, I quoted to the MCC that when do you call the white ball? When the ball passes the striker's wicket, you call white ball, not before then. That means it has already gone outside the scope of the striker to hit. You call white ball. Besides these points, I made one more observation that let us restrict the batter's right to go anywhere and play the ball. Somehow, somewhere, uh, this restriction on the striker has become hazy over time. Let us redraw that line because in today's rough play world of T20 and all that, where what is in his mind is to hit the ball out of the ground, he might hit somebody's head also, the striker, and it is extremely dangerous to the fielding side. So what the MCC has done, uh, not only behind the wicket, they have now said that on all three sides of the wicket, he has to remain on the pitch. He has to remain on the pitch while playing at the ball. This is what this law says. They accepted in the reasoning that they gave. I think I shared the document to you about that with you about that MCC's explanatory note. There you will find that they now consider it dangerous for the striker to go anywhere and hit, dangerous for the fielder. And it recognizes the fact that they may break somebody's head or at least hand. They accept that fact. And now enough is enough. We will not allow the striker to go anywhere and hit the ball. So therefore they say, if the striker attempts to play the ball and no part of his bat or person, whether grounded or raised, remains within the pitch, dead ball. Simply dead ball. We don't want this Daman business at all. We don't want this farce at all. You cannot, you simply have to call dead ball is what the law says. You simply have to call the ball, dead ball is what the law says. On three sides, I was only talking about the behind the wicket, they say all three sides. They say all three sides is what they have now ruled. So remember, if a batter, no batter can go out and play. Now I'll show you a few videos here which might make the point clearer. Now we were talking about here, look at this. Is it bold or will you call dead ball?
So at what point does Claire Polisak? She's almost. I think she had.
What would you do? Call dead ball here or?
She's just looked up. Yeah.
It is out bold.
So at what point does Claire Polisak?
Yes. What's your view? Yes.
Sir, please play one more time.
She's just looked up. Yeah. So at what point does Claire Polisak? She's almost. I think she had.
Yes.
No. Sir, I don't.
Dead ball or bold?
Bold.
Pardon?
The bold.
She's just
I
looked
call
up.
it dead ball.
Yeah. So at what point does Claire Polisak? She's almost. I think she had.
Shubda, here you have to look at only two things. Do you see
She's
the
just looked up.
striker backing
Yeah.
off and not playing at the ball?
So at what point does
There is no too late for the striker to pull out.
I think
Therefore,
this is dead ball.
invariably it is out.
she's
It
just
is
looked
dead
up?
ball.
Yeah.
However late.
So
She
at what
has
point?
pulled out. She has pulled out is one. The other thing is she has not made an
So
attempt
at
to
what
play the
point
ball.
does Claire Polisak? Yeah. Yeah.
It is very, very late. The ball is almost upon her. But the reason you can perhaps see is that the moment she raises her eyes from the stand, the bowler is also upon her. She is still looking down here. See? But anyway, this is
Yes,
only
sir,
in
I
slow
want.
motion.
It's just looked up. Yeah.
She has just
Sir,
looked up and therefore she has done it. Now the question for the umpire on the field is, I have no option but to call it dead ball. In all cases, 100 times out of 100, the reaction of the bowlers and umpire is to call dead ball. And the only thing I can after that do is to find out the reasons for it. She'll say, sir, I had just looked up. Which if you want, you can ask the third umpire to verify if you are still not happy. But either way, after seeking verification from the third umpire, you can decide either you are satisfied or you are not satisfied. After that, the only option available to you is whether you will allow that ball, treat that ball a valid ball, or whether you will allow an extra ball. Bold is out of the question. Because therefore, calling dead ball, you have to have only two facts before you have to look at only two facts. Striker is not ready for the delivery, and if the ball is delivered, makes attempt, no attempt to play it. Which two facts are present here? And practically, there is no way at that time I or anybody can go into the reason for backing out. So therefore, uh, if you don't call dead ball, then you are punishing some innocent batsman also.
Sir, I
So
want
always
to
dead ball.
share a maybe because
Yes,
yesterday
tell me.
also you sorry, day before yesterday also you gave this example and I answered the same, that
Yes,
I will give him give
yes,
bold.
yes.
So what happened in a there's a local divisional matches were going on, and
Hmm.
there is a batsman who has this pattern. He he keeps on wasting time. He will watch it, towards his bats. He will what should I say, strike his bat on the ground 2 3 times, and n numbers of time I have told him, I think it is yeah, last year this happened, and I told him ki, see, you are see, you are wasting your time, and this happened, like bowler bowled and he just what should I say? He just step out. I can't.
Backed off. Okay, he backed off.
Backed off. Yes, he backed off,
Okay,
and this
all right.
happens 2 3 times.
Okay,
In different matches. In one match, and the last match, like where I had harsh word with him,
yes,
this happened 2 times. So
huh,
I was so frustrated also, because
yes,
in previous matches also I told him, see, he's an under 16 player, so I said, beta, please don't do this. You are wasting my time, you are wasting your team's time, and it is a time wasting by uh, batting side. So I have to
huh,
give penalty if you are doing like this.
huh,
So, but that the last day when he did 2 times, then I just spoke very rudely with him, and I told him,
hmm,
see, next time this happen, I will give you bold. Uh,
okay.
and then he didn't do this,
No,
but
see, I'll tell
maybe
you.
yeah.
Uh, I'll tell you, Shubhada. Give me a second, no? Huh. See, that is one aspect. I'll tell you what is the solution for that. But here in this case, there is no way you can give him out. There is no way you can give him out. Okay.
They get it.
This is one aspect. Now I'll show you another video. Look at this. Before I answer your question, look at this.
Hello,
Listen to the commentary. Listen to the commentary.
typical retort. Mind games being played out here.
Now what is going on? Pulled out at the last moment. Something wasn't quite right in terms of the batsman. Well, we've seen a lot of drama throughout the course of today.
Well, Tawhid Vidwan might be a youngster, but he knows the little tricks and how to get back at a bowler who's just stopped the final step, and he says, well, I'm not going to take this one, even if it hits the wicket. He's going to signal another dead ball.
See, now look at this. If you have heard the commentary, it is clear that it seems that in the previous ball, the bowler had stopped in the last stride. And the umpire is also clear in his view. The umpire also immediately called dead ball, of course. He has immediately called dead ball. But the umpire knows there is a background. And why this batter has backed off, the commentary, it is clear even to the commentary team that he knows how to play these mind
Well,
tricks.
we've seen a lot of drama throughout the course of today.
Well, Tawhid Vidwan might be a youngster, but he knows the little tricks and how to get back at a bowler who's just stopped the final step, and he says, well, I'm not going to take this one, even if it hits the wicket. He's going to signal another.
So it would appear to me that if I am on the field of play, it is clear to the commentators, it is clear even to me as an umpire. I am sure the umpire is also clear about it, that it is a mind game this fellow has played. Now, what is the remedy? What I should be doing? What I would have done is, firstly, I would have called dead ball like I did, like the umpire on the field also did, which was his first immediate action. Now the question, why did you back off? Why did you back off? And based on that, either he will lose the delivery or he will get another delivery. Alright? And I am not going to give this chap another delivery when I am convinced that he is trying to play games here. Okay? And thirdly, which thing you should follow in that example of yours, give him one warning for wasting time. Because there is another law covering wasting time. One warning for wasting time. That should set right anybody and everybody. One warning means that it is a drastic step, just that one warning, because it puts the whole team puts the whole team's head in the noose. And anytime again he does the slightest thing about wasting time, you award of iron penalty. But here in this particular case, if I know the background is that the bowler had stopped the previous ball, and therefore this fellow stepped back deliberately in order to playing mind games, that I'm not going to take this ball and all that. When it is clear, very clear to the commentary, should be clear to me too. And so when it is clear to me, I won't let him get away with it. Dead ball, I'm bound to call. That is one law I'm following. Bold doesn't count at all and can never count. Now, the question is whether I'm going to allow him an extra ball or not. Nay, this delivery will be counted. You will not be given an extra ball. And also, here is one warning for wasting time. One warning for wasting time. Tell the fielding side and inform the captain of the batting side later on. One warning for wasting time. So that is how you should deal. Now coming to your some specifics of your problem, which you said, he's always adjusting his pads and all that. When we discuss time wasting by the batting side, you will find that as a general rule, the batter should be ready to play the ball whenever the bowler is ready to bowl it. Whenever the bowler is ready to bowl it, you do whatever you want to do. But as far as I am concerned, there is a specific instruction in time wasting, that when the bowler is ready, you be prepared to bowl it, prepared to play the ball. So therefore, you are always free to warn him and take action against him for time wasting. But your recourse does not lie in this law. If he doesn't do it, if he has deliberately done it, you're not satisfied about the reason, giving out is not an option. Because he has backed off, always dead ball. What you can do is either give the ball or not give the ball, and you may, if you feel free, if you feel necessary, follow it up with a warning for time wasting. Now, if I look at this, I'll just show you momentarily. I'll just show you 41 point. Batter wasting time. It is unfair for the batter to waste time. In normal circumstances, the striker should always be ready to take strike when the bowler is ready to start his run-up. Should either batter waste the time by failing to meet this requirement, it is a requirement, or in any other way, he is wasting time. Follow the procedure, warn both batters. That is how strict the law is, and it arms us well enough to take action against that erring batsman that you mentioned. But your recourse doesn't lie in this law. Punish him. Don't deny him that one ball. No problem. Deny him. And I tell you very clearly, you understand the term ना दाढ़ी में हाथ डालना, किसी के दाढ़ी में हाथ डालना, उसको मनाना, yes please don't do this. Nothing doing. One official warning sets everything right. You are not required to be pleading with him. You are not required to be pleading with him. कि दाढ़ी में हाथ
So
डालना
he
नहीं.
like I was considering him as a kid ki I should make him understand, or
Yes.
if he is not knowing, so
But
like
from what I understood, it went beyond a limit. Take
yes,
action.
yes.
All right, it is all right for you to try and explain to him, and that look, this is or he was a junior. All right, explaining to him, but beyond a point, slam him. And anybody really, up to a point, you can sort of explain. Beyond that, you shouldn't go out of your way to uh, sort of cajole him into obeying things. All right. So this is how it works. And let me show you this video here. Sometimes it is very critical. Now this was something that happened Pakistan versus Bangladesh, last ball of the 20th over. Very interesting situation, very critically positioned that match was. Where is that thing gone here? Here. Now look at this. Now this is 19.5 overs. 2 runs of 1 ball. 2 runs of 1 ball, 19.5 overs. Okay? And this is what happened. The umpire has called dead ball. He has signaled dead ball. Now look at it again. The umpire here was saved from taking a decision because the Bangladesh bowler accepted the batsman's thing that he was. You will see that it is a genuine case because he had just managed to look up. When the ball was being bowled, the bowler is already upon him. There it is. When he looked up, the bowler is already upon him. So we can, looking at the slow-mo, it is now the point here is that the umpire was saved from making a decision about this. He called dead ball, that is very clear. When the bowler and he's perhaps the captain accepted. Otherwise, for the umpire, the decision to be taken was ask him, the course of action, ask him the reason for your backing off. And if satisfied, allow the extra ball. If not satisfied, this will count as a valid ball and the match is over. Pakistan lose the match. You understand the critical position here? He was saved from taking a decision because this man accepted it and it carried on. But it was for the umpire to ask him the reason for it, be satisfied about the reason for it, and decide whether or not to allow that ball. Whether or not to allow that ball in these circumstances. So he was saved from that decision making because he said, all right, okay. They accepted it and it went on. But otherwise, suppose they were adamant, then the umpire would have had to ask him why. Maybe take the help of the third umpire, whether his reason given is this, can you confirm please? And depending on what that man says, your friend, because in this was very touch and go. Or he himself is of the view, yes, he was late in looking up. Here, then he has to decide whether or not this ball, one ball is to be given to him, Pakistan team, or counted as a proper ball and the match is over. It was that critical stage. It was that critical stage. So always, but he did the right thing by immediately calling dead ball, which was absolutely correct. Further course of action, he was saved from that trouble because the Bangladesh captain accepted and carried on sportingly, accepted what the batter told him, and he went on and bowled. Had he not done that, you would have had something to decide. Okay. Now, let us look briefly at some of the other decisions where an umpire is supposed to call dead ball. Okay. We have seen these 13 instances. There are 18 other instances. How does it affect these laws? Your new idea of dead ball now, your new understanding of dead ball, how does it affect this? Bowler incapacitated or suspended during an over, you call dead ball, that is fine. He doesn't get suspended during the over, so this should actually go. A25 should go. Now, this is a change which has been made. Ball coming to rest in front of the striker's wicket. You will, even if you have called ball dead ball afterwards, after the striker has even gone forward and hit the wicket, doesn't mean that that hit will count. Your no ball count will count from the time the ball came to rest. So doesn't mean that you will allow the 4 runs to be scored just because I could not call dead ball. No, that reasoning no longer applies. Fielder intercepting a delivery. A fielder, suppose a ball has been bowled, leg spin has been bowled, which has touched short leg and gone and hit the stumps. Actually, bowled law says that which is not been touched by a fielder. That is another thing. But here, even though you have not you have not called dead ball for that interception, doesn't mean that you will allow ball. So, therefore, there also you have to, it becomes dead from the time the interception took place. Leg bye is not to be awarded. In that regulation also, the dead ball becomes from the time of the incident which has happened. Restriction on striker's runner. There again, there is a provision that you will delay the call of dead ball. Movement by wicketkeeper. Now there is a movement by the wicketkeeper, illegal movement by the wicketkeeper, which you have spotted, but failed to call dead ball. It doesn't mean that if he has already caught the ball or stumped the striker, you will allow it. Your dead ball call will be effective from the time you spotted the movement. Okay? Restrictions on actions of wicketkeeper, the same thing. Movement by any fielder like movement by wicketkeeper. Batter leaving the wicket under misapprehension. This is something critical.